Hello, and welcome back to the Dream Printing Podcast. I'm your host, Polly Payne. I am the CEO and founder of Horacio Printing, and I am the creator of Print School. Today, I have a Print School alumni story for you. I'm so excited to introduce you to Robyn, who created the Essential Planners. I'm super excited to kind of walk through her journey. She had printed on demand prior, and it was not it. She's going to go through that story and how she has now been able to have a profitable product price point, and also it's the finally hitting the luxury materials that she so desperately envisioned for her product. I can't wait for you to see it. She's going to show it off. But before we dive into that interview, I would love to invite you to join me on a 5-day Print Your Thing challenge. I call it the 5-day challenge because it's 5 videos, 1 hour each. You can do one a day. But if you want to plow through these videos in one day, you can. If you want to take your time and do it over 2 weeks, you absolutely can. There's no hardcore rush or urgency to it. But this 5-day challenge is going to help you do ideation, to learn about design, to learn about the whole timeline of creating the dream printing method. We're going to talk about marketing and sales, Kickstarters. We're going to talk about material options, printing costs. I actually give you quotes from a real printer for you to understand the profitability of your potential business. So that's really fun. It's called the Print Your Thing Challenge. I'll put the link right here. It's dreamprinting.co/challenge. I would love to have you there. You can ask questions while you're doing the challenge, and we can interact while you're in there. So that invitation is there for you. And without further ado, let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome back. I am so excited to dive into this conversation with Robyn. She's an incredible Print School student, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to dive into your story, your dream, where you're at in this entrepreneurial journey, which it is a journey of like 1,000 steps. So I'm excited to hear what inspired you to create your planner and the journey that you've been on. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to be an alumni now. My story is I work full time. I work in marketing, and then I am a twin mom and an entrepreneur. So I've got a couple of different side hustles that I'm working on, but being the Essential Planner creator is one of my side hustles. So back in 2020, I gave birth to boy-girl twins, and I had been a planner user like up until that point, and my favorite planner stopped publishing that year because of the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And that was okay because I used my planner for goal setting, and as a new twin mom, my only job was to keep 2 brand new babies alive.
Yeah.
So I had no ambitious goals that year. But as the twins started getting older, and as I kind of got out of postpartum, I was really missing that goal setting, that goal planning ability. I also live with MS, and so I started going like right back into hustle culture, feeling like I had to make up for lost time. Like I had to make up for all of those postpartum years. And so I started planning crazy amounts of goals, and I hit burnout right away. And I put myself into my first MS flare in 10 years. I had no symptoms, no disability. And I was like, I can't live this way. And I missed my favorite planner. So I was like, I'm just going to create my own. So I hired a designer. And before I found you, I actually printed 2 planners using a US publisher. I'm up in Canada. And so I used a US publisher because I found a print on demand. And I had always had this fear, like, I'm going to create this product. I'm so excited to bring it to the world, but I don't know how many people are going to buy it. So I'm just going to do a print on demand version. And my first planner cost $100 US.
To make?
To make.
Oh my gosh.
And to print it. I was like, okay, people won't pay $100 for a planner. No, people won't pay $100 for a planner. And it was, it's so embarrassing. I have my like new 2026, but it was like soft cover, really cheap paper, It had a nice gold foil, but I launched it to the world and no one bought it. I had I had my own. And then 2025, this was 2024. 2025 comes along and I was like, okay, I have to make it a little nicer. So I put like a an overlay because this was the only thing I could do for print on demand. They wouldn't do hardcover for print on demand.
Yeah.
And three people bought my planner. And so I was just like, okay, I know this is useful. I know this is good, but like I can't sell a planner for $100 US. No one is going to buy it. It's not the market. People buy planners for much less. So they're not going to buy mine, even if it's got the best solution for you. So I started searching on YouTube for how I could find the right printer. And I found one of your videos. And I think we did one of your like intro calls. And I signed up the next day for print school. So that's how I found you. And that's how I like started my printing journey. I like, tried it on my own and then I needed help.
Yeah. So a lot of people do come to print school with their stuff already designed. Some people come and they just have an idea, which is great. You can come as you are, really, whether you are completely at the start line. Maybe you've built some sort of Frankenstein Canva file situation, or in Robyn's case, like you have the thing done. You just need the right printer and also everything else that comes along with it. So I'm curious, when you jumped into print school, just for like curiosity's sake, was there a lot that you got to skip over? Did you go back and watch any of the design stuff? Like, what was that like? Were you like, okay, how do I press hypersonic speed into this program?
Yeah. I kind of jumped in. I think it was like at the end of the year, and I was trying to sell my 2025 planner. So I jumped actually into like launch school.
Yeah.
So I jumped into launch school. I started watching as much as possible, using some of like the tips and tricks. So like I could try to launch my 2005 planner. And then at the beginning of 2025, once I had, attempted to sell, I was like, okay, let's take a step back. And I started going through launch school because I needed to go through the process to contact the different printers that you provide us with, and learn about the whole sample process, and then learn about the whole like feedback process and how to do it. So I kind of worked through print school to find the right publisher and the right printer for me, that I could use to bring like a hardcover planner to life.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So fast forward to getting your sample in the mail. When you finally got your hardcover sample, what was that feeling like, and kind of what happened after that?
Well, it was an interesting process because I had initially gone with one of your more expensive publishers because they're actually Canadian based. And as a Canadian, I was like, let me support a Canadian business. And then the sample process and the quote process with them actually, it was quite frustrating for me.
Yeah.
They were not a good partner for me. And I had done so much work with them. I had gotten all these quotes. And then when they gave me the quote for the sample, it was ridiculously expensive compared to your other publishers. And I got quite frustrated, and life was lifing me at the time. Actually, like I was like, okay, I'm not gonna, I gave up for a little bit.
Yeah.
When I went back to your overseas publishers, they were like this in terms of their like quotes. They got back to me like this. I found one that was really easy to work with. The cost made sense for me, because I haven't had success with my previous publishers. I think I'm a little like cost fearful.
Sure.
And so their costs made sense. And then I remember, so I went with, and I remember when she's like, can I talk to you on WhatsApp? It's going to be so much faster than going back and forth via email. I was like, of course. And when she sends you the video of like your sample being printed, before she actually like mails it to you, it's like the best feeling in the world. You're just like, okay, my dream is coming true. It looks so beautiful. And then I think I jumped the delivery man. When we live out in the country, and I have a really long driveway, and I can actually like see the cars like coming down our driveway, and I saw the like UPS truck coming down, and I just like I ran outside, and he handed me a box, and it was quite small. And I was like, that's not my planner. My planner's supposed to run. And then he actually came back the next day. So I like ran out again. He's like, what are you waiting for? I'm like, my baby, my planner. So getting the sample in the mail is probably like one of the best feelings, because like your everything you've visioned, everything you've imagined is now in your hands. And it's just such a rewarding feeling.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know exactly how that feels as well. So after you had your sample, you probably went back to launch school. What did you use from launch school? Like, which path did you take for those watching? What was kind of like your launch path that you traveled down, and how did it go? So share that with us.
Yeah, so in launch school, what I love about it is that you can easily go from module to module. So when I was trying to launch my 2025 planner, I was selling it through my website. I've been an OG blogger since like 2009. So I already had a website, and I was using just like a PayPal button to sell my planner. And then I was going to like figure out shipping on my own.
Yeah.
No one should figure out shipping on your own. You should watch Polly shipping modules. So I got my sample, and by this time, it was actually quite late in the process. And I was in, again, fear mode, that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to launch a Kickstarter so that I can get the funds to actually do my mass order so that it arrives in time so I can mail it out before the end of the year. With planners, it's so time bound with like our timing. And so I love in not only in print and launch school that you have these timelines, that you really talk people through like how much time they need to leave for every single step of the process so that they don't get stressed out. And me like having such a long time for my sample, I put myself in this situation. So I jumped into the Kickstarter modules because I had watched just like the marketing modules to sell my 2025 planner. So go back, understand how to do a Kickstarter launch. I launched the Kickstarter, and then as the Kickstarter is launching, I'm setting up my Shopify store because I've learned my lesson that I need to set it up in Shopify so that I can properly do shipping when the time comes. So I did Kickstarter and then Shopify. So I kind of worked through those modules back to back.
So your first planner launch was a 0, right? Second planner, 3 sales. How did the Kickstarter go?
It did a little bit better. So I think the thing is that I spend so much time organizing and doing the thing. And because I work full time in marketing, I do not like marketing things myself. Yeah. And so you really have to develop this massive community, and you have to develop people that believe in your product ahead of time. Because when you just go like, here's my thing, and you don't have the audience, it's going to be an uphill battle. So I think I sold maybe 30 planners in my Kickstarter launch. So at the very last moment, I ended up having to fund the rest because I just like, I don't want to give up on this dream. I don't want to give up on this planner. So I funded the rest to do the mass order and then set up my Shopify store. So I'm in my Shopify phase where I am just trying to sell the rest of the planners. I did a small order and I'm just hoping to sell them out.
That's exciting. So tell us a little more about the planner itself and who it's for and what you love about it.
So I like to say it's a planner for multi-passionates. So if you're working full time and you've got different side hustles or different goals that you're trying to accomplish, it was born from burnout. And it really is a way to map things out in a way that your goals are going to be aligned with not only your feelings, but your values. So I walk people through my goal setting process. And at the beginning of the planner, you identify your core desired feelings, which is a term from Danielle Laporte. If anyone has ever read the Desire Map, then they'll resonate with that. So you decide how you want to feel for the year. And that usually relates to some lifestyle categories. And so you choose how you want to feel, you identify your values and what's really important to you in all areas of your life. You create these value statements that you can use as guardrails for your goal planning. And then I give a full page for mapping out goals in different areas of your life. So this is for someone that like is setting goals in travel and career and family and couple and friendships and leisure. And then there's another page to map your lifestyle goals out by calendar. So what goals are time bound, and then where can you fit your other ones in? So you really have like an overall view of your entire year, and you can slot things in where there's space in your calendar so that you're not going to hit burnout, you're not going to hit overwhelm. And then it's got a beautiful design in terms of like the monthly and the weekly views. And then I always give everyone a weekly and monthly reflection page. So every single week, you get to sit with your heart and you get to ask yourself, am I closer to my core desired feelings? What's working in my life? What's not working? There's a space for gratitude. And then there's a brain dump page. So every single week, you can put everything that is in your head on one page, and you can carry that forward, or you can just keep it on that page so that it doesn't live in your head. And then every single month, there's a monthly reflection page. So you do the same thing. You reflect on your month. Were you any closer to achieving those goals that you had set out, or the intentions that you had chosen? And then there's a monthly planning page so you can plan your goals for the following month. So,
yay, that's so exciting. So the big question is, when can people start ordering their essential planner from your website?
They can already order now. So essentialplanner.ca is already live. So you can buy the planner. I've also filmed an online course called the Focus Framework. So I walk you through the entire planning method in the planner, or you can get a bundle. You can get the planner and the online course together. So the planners are on a boat right now. They are slowly making their way to Canada, and then I'll be shipping them out as soon as they arrive. They should be here in the middle of November, so everyone will be able to get them before the new year.
That's amazing. And do you also have a social people can connect with you there? Where would that be?
Yeah, so I spun up, it's the.essential.planner so that I can create a community of people that are passionate about this planner. And I talk about tips and tricks around productivity and planning and goal setting. So you can join me there.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey. I know this is just the beginning. So make sure you guys check out her website. We'll drop all the links below. Thank you so much for coming on the show and really sharing your heart and your story.
Thanks for creating Print School for us.
I hope you enjoyed this interview. It was so amazing getting to talk to Robyn. Again, I would love to invite you to my 5-day Print Your Thing challenge. You can click the link below. It's dreamprinting.co/challenge. But if you are ready to join Print School and get your idea out of your head and into your hands, or maybe like Robyn, you already have your print item designed and you're just chomping at the bit to get this thing in your hands and run over to the UPS man and get your beautiful product, I would love to welcome you into Print School 2.0. You can learn more at dreamprinting.co. Here is the link, dreamprinting.co. And the cool thing about Print School is it comes with 2 entire courses. You get Print School, which helps you take your idea out of your head and into your hands. And you also get Launch School, which teaches you how to have a successful launch, how to get your assets ready whenever you are preparing for the launch, your video, your photos, your marketing copy, how to do a Kickstarter launch if you want to, or a pre-order campaign to raise the funds, how to set up your website, how to grow your business, how to do email marketing, SMS marketing. So many different things are inside of Launch School to help you be successful and to launch with confidence. So that is available for you. That is a $2,000 bonus that comes with Print School. You get Launch School and you get 2 years of access to these programs, along with 4 calls a month. As a community, you get a beautiful student community where you can ask questions. You get a support inbox that you can email at any time. We are here to help you to make sure you don't stay stuck. And you can join us at dreamprinting.co. Get your application in. I would love to see your application come across my desk and to welcome you inside. I hope you have a beautiful day. You are so loved. Oh, and by the way, if you want to watch more episodes of the Dream Printing podcast, check out some of these episodes next.